for supervisor was at $57,000. The 8 term was $202,000. So you know, Frank been here that long. That was his salary, right? And the trustees, the first term is $11,000. $11,000. And the 8 term is $41,000. I inherited Frank Zuccarelli's salary. I didn't make the numbers up. I didn't do anything. The trustees went up to $42,000. Jerry Jones, his salary is $19,000. Highway commissioner, $30,000. Cassandra, trustee, Gray Evans, $11,000. Chris Gonzalez, $11,000. She received her salary. Again, we inherit people's salaries.
I think we need to read it more. It also says that if a new supervisor comes in, that drops considerably.
Correct.
Tiffany Henyard might be out, but the mess is still marching on in Thornton Township. She's gone, but the money still moving like a shell game. And now folks are calling this the Tiffany 2.0 era, except this version might be slicker, smoother, and scarier. You get smarter, and that's why people are now side-eyeing Napoleon Harris, like he's the sequel nobody asked for. But with a higher budget, this is the guy who showed up claiming transparency and decency. Said he'd clean up the township, said he'd bring back respect. And yet, the loudest thing about Napoleon isn't his speeches, it's his paycheck. Shout out to Paul Roberts and the Lansing Journal for digging up the receipts, because when you lay it out plain and simple, it's outrageous. With his Senate check and new township salary, Napoleon Harris is now cashing in to the tune of over $341,000 a year. Let's break this down. He's pulling 6 figures from the township and another, nearly $90,000 as a sitting Illinois state senator. So he's raking in the dough while residents still trying to understand where the pothole money went. And it gets worse. The very ordinance from 2020 says a new supervisor should start at $57,000 and max out at $122,000 after multiple re-elections. This man hasn't earned that tier. He just walked in and claimed the king's throne. The same rules Tiffany slid into to get her inflated salary. Those were built for people like Frank Zuccarelli, who'd been in office 30 years, not someone who just snuck in through a backdoor caucus. And yes, snuck, because the public never got to actually vote. That caucus move was the political version of a trapdoor. Tiffany would have likely lost fair and square, but they skipped the Democratic part and slid Harris in like it was a secret family meeting. And now, the township isn't just double-dipping, it's drowning. They've got Harris in 2 high-powered roles while still paying folks like Carla Cottonburris, listed as his chief of staff, a cushy $100,000 plus salary. What is she doing exactly? What's anyone doing? Because it sure as hell ain't public service. It's looking more like self-service. And the saddest part is folks thought this was the cleanup crew. But turns out, they just changed jerseys and kept running the same crooked playbook. Over $100,000. That's what Napoleon's chief of staff is pulling in. But here's the kicker. She's not even listed on the township website, and no one can explain what her actual job duties are. She's just collecting checks and another $32,000 in projected bonuses. I thought the money was all gone. I thought Tiffany robbed the vault clean. So how is there still room for luxury salaries and loyalty bonuses? Somebody make it make sense. Let's talk trustees Mario Avant, Christopher Gonzalez, Various Stubbs, and Brandon Stanley. These aren't executives, they're board members. And still, they're lined up to get thousands in bonuses, plus annual salaries that blow past the township's own rules. First-time trustees should start at $11,000. On term 2, should get $14,000, not $30,000 plus. The only way someone's supposed to earn that much is if they've been around for 6 terms. These folks just clocked in. But it gets worse. Guess who's still working at the township? Robert Hunt. Yep, the same Robert who couldn't explain a single financial detail during Tiffany's meltdown, the man who sat through meetings looking confused and mumbling excuses, still on the payroll. Oh, and Keith Price, still there too. Like, what exactly changed besides swapping out Tiffany's wig for Harris' bald ambition? It's giving rubber stamp politics. If you watch the township meetings now, there's zero debate, zero transparency, and zero discussion. Just quiet nods and unanimous yes votes. It's the same system Tiffany used, where everyone just did what she wanted and no one dared to challenge her. And now that script has been recycled, cast and all, except now it's Harris with the pen and the props. They even reversed Tiffany's own ordinance about self-promotion. That rule said no elected official could plaster their name or face on township materials. You want your face on a food box? Pay for it yourself. That was the rule. And guess what Napoleon did in his first meeting? He nuked it. Now it's his smiling mug on every food crate in Thornton, like he's running a charity empire. Tiffany 2.0, Yologist with less glitter and more silence. They held a vote. Trustee Stanley? Yes. Avant? Yes. Gonzalez? Yes. Harris? You already know it's yes. And with that, poof bye-bye ethics ordinance. Suddenly, it's legal to turn taxpayer services into campaign promos again. All that talk about cleaning house? Just noise. Now it's back to business as usual. And we all know whose business that really is. She asked a simple question. Why was the ordinance repealed? And the response, we'll get back to you. That's politician speak for don't. Hold your breath. They mumbled something about misuse of name and likeness, but nobody on that board could explain what changed. Suddenly, self-promotion is okay again. The same stunt Tiffany pulled when she hijacked the food programs to promote herself, now it's Harris's turn. And somehow, that's different. Like Tiffany, Napoleon Harris avoids the press. Ben Bradley pulled up. He dodged him. No interviews, no answers, no heat. They're allergic to accountability. It's the same grift wrapped in a quieter package. Harris won't shout or showboat. He whispers through corruption. Cool and calculated. But don't get it twisted, he's stacking more than Tiffany ever did, and he's doing it with less noise. Silent but paid dot. This board ain't a board. It's a rubber stamp factory. No debate. No discussion. It's the same blueprint Tiffany ran, with rubber stamp the raise, rubber stamp the power, and Napoleon. He didn't even wait. First meeting, boom, give me the full salary. First year, first term, doesn't matter. He wants his face on boxers, his name in bold, and his bank account swollen. Transparency, who he's now making over $341,000, and he's keeping the whole old Kruerbert hunt, still raking in $116,000, even though no one remembers him ever making sense in a meeting. The mysterious chief of staff, still no job description, still over $100,000 and a fat bonus. They even kept Emmanuel, the media guy who used to fight for checks. If Tiffany was the chaos, Harris is the cover-up and somehow. It's even slicker. The FOIA docs confirm it. Harris is getting the full supervisor salary, breaking every rule in the book. The same ordinances that capped pay for new supervisors. Tossed the rule about promotions. Repealed. They're running through policy like it's a clearance sale. And what's even more insulting, these clowns had the audacity to claim there was no money when Tiffany was in office, but somehow now, everybody's eating. And that's why Illinois stays on the map for top-tier corruption. It's not just politicians, it's the system. One face out, another in. And the grift never stops. Tiffany Henyard 2.0 isn't about energy, it's about efficiency. Napoleon doesn't need to scream, he just signs the checks, silences the meetings, and smiles for the camera on your food box. The con evolved. The silence is louder than the scream. Napoleon Harris didn't run for anything, he just slid into the township seat like it was reserved for him. Tiffany Henyard was a disaster, so folks were desperate. But now that the smoke's cleared, what's the difference? Tiffany was loud, reckless, and incompetent. Napoleon, he's quiet, calculated, and just as corrupt. Different delivery, same. Damn con. It's all yesmen and pay raises until Harris starts swinging that axe and firing folks. That's when the loyalty will dry up and the tea will start spilling. Until then, silence. Everyone's pretending like this ain't déjà vu with a new haircut. The only thing new is how slick he's pulling it off. Look at it for what it is. He's following Tiffany's exact playbook, just without the viral TikToks and Popeye scandals. It's all happening again. Overpaying himself, overpaying his team, ignoring transparency. He's not cleaning up the mess, he's just reorganizing the trash. Same game, smoother suit. Now, here's the real test. Will the next township meeting bring a course correction? Will Napoleon Harris scale back? his pay to the rightful first-year supervisor salary. That would show leadership. That would show humility. But if he doesn't, that silence, that paycheck, that arrogance, then he's not Tiffany 2.0. He's Tiffany 2.0. Unmute but still pushing the same scam. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Will Napoleon walk it back or just keep cashing out? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Assuming they don't shut us up too.